Hey there, everybody. It is just 11 o'clock now. I'm hoping people are starting to, I see people starting to get on now, so that's great. Just want to jump on a little bit early and say hello. And my lighting is horrible. That's okay. I won't be on for very long. So anyway, welcome everybody. So glad you could be here today. I'm Elise Tager. I am a business coach to ambitious female entrepreneurs, and I'm sure you are all that. So I'm glad that you're here. I'll start sharing my slides in just a minute, but I just wanted to say hello. You should all be on mute. If you're not, would you make sure that that's the case so that we don't get conflicting noise, which really interferes with the whole thing. So Inga, I'm so glad you're here. And Cassandra, thank you. Allison, Rachel, I'm so glad you could make it. And Lakeisha, that was a last minute thing. I'm glad you could join us. Good, good, good. Who else? Carol, thanks for joining as well. So why don't we get going? I will share my screen and get me off the camera and we can get going. Share. And there. Okay, here we are. So how do I hide that? Okay. So thank you so much for coming. I'm Elise Tager. I am a business coach to ambitious female entrepreneurs, as I said before. I love doing these presentations. I do a lot of public speaking. I always feel like I'm giving a party. So thank you for coming to my party. So actually, let me stop sharing for a minute. I want to make sure that you can all hear me. And so on the bottom, there is a chat session, a chat little bubble. Can you put in there, someone tell me if you can or you can't hear me so I know I'm not talking to me. And Lakeisha, you say yes. Okay, thanks, you can hear me. Good, good. So let me get back to screen sharing. One moment, please. Okay, here we go. So welcome to 5 crucial steps to shift from solopreneur to CEO and experience amazing growth in 6 weeks without breaking the bank or becoming completely overwhelmed. So I am Elise Tager. As I said, I've got everybody on mute. I hope you're on mute because it just is too distracting. A little housekeeping. I'm going to ask you to, if you have questions throughout the presentations, please throw them into the chat session. I'm not going to start and stop the presentation to answer questions along the way. It's too disruptive. But at the end of the presentation, I am going to go back to the chat and answer any questions that you have and any questions you have live at that point. I will stay as long as there are questions. So, you know, don't worry that you won't get answered. So find the chat bubble and just throw anything in there that you want. I can't see chat while I'm presenting. So just know that you're blind to me, so I won't know until I get there. So who is this for? If you are a solopreneur and want to grow your business, but don't know how to get off the hamster wheel of doing, with your hair on fire and working 24/7, you're in the right place. If you're not happy as a one-woman band and want to make some changes, you're in the right place. Many solopreneurs are very, very happy just being a one-woman band and being a solopreneur, and I say more power to them. But if you're not happy in that space and you feel trapped and overworked and exhausted, I'm glad you're here because this is exactly who I'm addressing in this presentation. So let me ask you something. And answer this for yourself, but these are things that always come up. Are you too afraid to spend money for additional help because cash is always tight? Are you exhausted by a never-ending to-do list and wearing too many hats? Most solopreneurs are right there. If you desire a business that fits your life, not a life that has to fit around your business, we can get you there. And if you have to struggle with never being able to take a vacation or time off, oh my God, right? That's another source of exhaustion. And if that's who you are, let's get you out of that trap. If you've said no to a new opportunity because you can't handle the additional work, that's a horrible position to be in. And a big one, if the passion is gone, I know Rachel, you and I sat down and had coffee yesterday, and we talked about the fact that, you know, as long as you've been in business, it's easy to get to the point where you're just overwhelmed and the passion is gone. Why did I even start this in the first place? So if the passion is gone, let's address that. You know where you want to go with your business and can't figure out how to get there. So in the next 50 minutes or 60 minutes, I'm going to show you the 5 steps that I used to grow my business to over $1 million in 12 months. I'm looking at notes here, so if I get distracted, sorry, that's where I am. Let me go back a second. I do know what it's like to be passionate about serving clients. As I said, or I will say, I've had 4 businesses. I've been an entrepreneur for 20 years. I know what it's like to be discouraged or tired or thinking of calling it a day or heading back to the cubicle. But before you do that, I want you to give it one more shot and listen to what the 5 steps are. Here is what we're going to do in our time together. Grab your pen. This is being recorded, so I'll send the recording out to everybody, the people who attended and didn't attend, so you can redo it again if you don't want to take notes. But what we're going to do is I'm going to go through the 5 steps quickly. I'm going to spend the most amount of time on the first step because I think that's the most important, and it also is something that you can start to implement right away and feel a real win. I want to urge you to stay with me to the end. For those of you who would like to work directly with me to plan to move out of that trap of solopreneurship, I'm going to talk to you about a brand new program that I'm starting at the end of the call. So let's get started. So here is my promise to you. I have been there. You know, every solopreneur is different. Each has strengths and weaknesses and different levels of commitment to their business. And how you apply the information you learned today is going to be up to you. But from working with literally hundreds of solopreneurs and small business owners in the last 10 years, I know that these strategies work. The strategies I'm going to give you today will allow you to generate much more revenue and create a balanced business and life so that you can grow even further. I've had 4 businesses, as I said, and have had quite a lot of success. But I also know what it means to struggle, and I would really like to save you from that pain because it can be painful. So I know exactly what works and the mistakes you need to avoid right from the start. So my promise to you is if you listen up, I'm going to help you avoid a lot of that pain. So look at that little guy lost in the weeds. Every day you spend as a solopreneur is hampering your ability to grow your business. And tick-tock, you know, time is money. And the longer that you are stuck in the weeds of not knowing how to get out of it, the more time it's wasting and the more money you're wasting. So that hamster wheel of being super busy every day with no end in sight is so exhausting. That's what kills your passion for your business, and it kills your passion for life too. So think about this. How much revenue are you losing weekly because you're like that little guy lost in the weeds? And lost in the weeds of doing the work, not thinking about how to strategize creating a business. In those weeds, are you disorganized and scattered? I know I spent a lot of time there. You're not making any headway, just treading water. You've got lots of ideas and goals, but you can't seem to move forward toward them consistently. Think about it. If you could only do what you do best, focus on new business development or making the most fabulous product or seeking out bigger opportunities, finding new high-paying clients, and leave the details, that nitty-gritty that's keeping you crazed, think of the growth that you could create and how much calmer and more productive your life would be if you get out of the weeds. So I love giving away gifts. If you stay with me to the very end, I want to give you, tell you a little bit more about the gift that I want to give to you, but you have to wait until the end or I'm not going to tell you about it. Haha. So there you go. The real problem really with being stuck in the weeds like that is you don't have a process to get out of the hole. If you did have a process, you would have been out of it. You wouldn't be in it, right? You don't know what to do to get out of the spot you're in right now. I have been there and I've got you, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So once you do take these steps that I'm going to lay out, you're going to have absolute confidence. You'll feel completely in control and have the ability to greatly increase your revenue. there's no more hair on fire, right? No more working night and day, no more feast or famine in your business, no more feeling out of control. You're going to do this without overworking or spending tons of money or frustration or self-doubt. But the one thing you need to know is that there are 5 steps that I used and I developed to get myself out of that hole, and I used today with my clients that you need to finally start growing your business. I'm going to walk you through the 5 steps today. So, but as I said, I want to walk through the 5 steps, but quickly so we can get through them in this hour, but also just dig into that first one because I think it's going to have the most impact for you as we go forward. So if you don't know me, a little bit about who I am. I offer proven and practical techniques gained from extensive experience, both as a CEO of several thriving companies. I've had 4 businesses on my own, where I was the CEO. Could everybody mute? Could everybody mute? I've got background noise.
I'm gonna have to go to my meeting. I'll join that.
Could everybody mute, please? Okay, thank you. So I've run successful businesses for over 20 years. I had a media buying agency for over 11 years, focusing on lead generation and later social media strategies. I've been a speaker, a trainer, and educator on online marketing. So I am passionate about helping other women entrepreneurs find their path. Could everybody mute, please? We're having background noise. Check your computer, see that the mute button is checked. That would be helpful. All right, so my why, this is my family, my 2 beautiful kids and my lovely husband. And these are the reasons that I get up in the morning. And I know everybody says that, but it's true for me. Now, the reason I put this up in front of you, Ms. Solopreneur, is that if you are a solopreneur, your business is undoubtedly affecting those around you. If you're stressed, if you're not happy, if you're lacking confidence, it hurts everyone. So let's design, because you can't help it, you take it home, right? Your day doesn't end at 5 o'clock. Even if you stop working at 5 o'clock, your mood, your mindset comes home with you. And if you're not in a good space right now, you are impacting those lovely people that you love most. So let's design a business that gets you out of that. So let me just tell you a little bit more about my story. It won't take too long. But I want to give you some information about how I crafted the 5 steps and why it worked for me and why I think it's going to work for you. So I had a media buying agency for 11 years. The first year and a half, I was a solopreneur and doing really well. I loved what I was doing and my clients loved me. It was happy time. And the business started booming as referrals came in, as they do, which is good news and bad news. I was working myself to death, right? Long days, working at least part of each weekend. At the time, I had 2 small kids who were not getting anywhere near enough of my attention. I felt guilty about that. And when I was home, I was exhausted. So I couldn't keep up with the business I had, truth be told. And I had to say no to several very lucrative new clients. And even the clients that I had that were tried and true and that had stuck with me for many years, because I say many months, I've been in business for 18 months by now, I didn't feel I was giving them my best work because I was just so fried and burnt out. And I felt it was starting to show in my production. So the biggest takeaway there, though, is that I didn't have time to look for new clients. This is the kiss of death. Pay attention here. This is a recipe for disaster. So if you aren't growing your business, you may not survive. And this is the definition of business. This is a business destined to fail. If you don't have a process for seeking out and finding new clients on a regular basis, you are very vulnerable. And at the whim of your current client base, that is very dangerous because you never know what's going to happen. So I was, as I said, absolutely exhausted, working 1,000,000 hours a week, not seeing enough of my family, and totally beside myself. And I was really at a turning point because I couldn't maintain this. I say I could continue to struggle, but I was just too fried. I was too burnt out. I could give up and fold the business and find a job. I mean, that's always an option, right? Or I could try to figure out how to make this work and really put my mind to it. So I was The biggest issue was that I was in love with doing the work. I did it well. This was a media buying agency, so I was doing online marketing for people like Cisco and HP and all kinds of high-tech companies. I had a lot of business going on, and I loved it. I loved what I was doing. I felt good at it. I felt secure in my own expertise. I rocked, and I knew it. But I couldn't continue to operate that way. I made a decision to change my mindset from loving being the worker bee to really starting to run a business, a soon-to-be booming business, which is mentally a really major shift. It was for me. So I really didn't know what to do, right? I would have been doing it had I did. I really didn't know what I should be doing at that point. So I researched and found a business coach who had run agencies in the past and could very specifically address my issues. And I hired her. And let me tell you, I was not in a position to do that. I just whipped out my credit card, held my nose, and jumped in the deep end of the pool because I felt I had no option. I didn't know what to do myself. I didn't want to seek out a full-time job again. I wanted to make this work. I was a committed entrepreneur. But I'll tell you, this was a huge leap of faith, but it was a great investment in myself. So I took a look at she helped me take a look at my strengths and weaknesses and decided I had to devote my energy to building the business, not doing the business. So I had to become the new biz dev queen and find a way to let other people serve my clients. Again, that is a big emotional shift. But I was doing myself such a disservice by doing the things that other people could do better than I did, because I'm not a detail person, believe me. I'm still not a detail person. And if I was in the position where I was having to do all those details, I wasn't giving myself the opportunity to really shine and my business the best service, my clients the best service. So I was really, who was I kidding, right? Doing this all myself. So I had that proverbial light bulb moment. And this is really important. If you're here and you're in that hair on fire state, I'd like you to start looking for those light bulb moments. I had to start serving my zone of genius, not reacting to every fire drill that happens every day. I knew I couldn't afford to hire a staff, right? There was no money in my pocket where I could just reach out and start hiring people. But I had to find a system that would allow me to jump off that horrible hamster wheel. So what happened, again, with the help of this business coach, I started to carefully and cautiously invest in a team and spend some money on building a prospecting system. I'll tell you, it didn't happen all at once. This was an evolutionary thing. But I started the process, and I'm so glad I did. So the results of starting that process, and I'm hoping this happens for you, is that I created a business that grew for 9 more years. So after that low point, it started to move upward slowly. But for 9 years, I continued to grow, was able to bring on a carefully selected team of rock stars, was bringing in more business every month. I could sleep at night and take a vacation, which was magic. And I developed the process I'm going to tell you about today. And when I sold the business, we were doing millions in revenue every year, all due to these steps that I'm going to tell you about now. So I say this because this is possible for you no matter where you are in your solopreneur business. No matter what niche you're on, you can use these 5 steps to get to that same spot. So here were some of the keys to my success of making that transition, and think about these for yourself. I had to be open to change, right? What I was doing up until now was lovely, but it wasn't going to take me through the change I needed to make to become the CEO. So I had to be open to changing my mindset and my thinking. I had to be willing to do the work, right? It's a job to make a transition from solo to CEO. There are no magic bullets here. I had to take action every single day. I had to put one little foot in front of the other so that I was getting myself towards that goal. I also had to start the change, making the change before I felt ready. If I had waited till I felt ready, I'd still be standing there with my hair on fire, right? I had to make a change before I felt ready. You want to build your business for the future, not just today. So let's get to those 5 steps. Here they are, and I'm going to go in much more detail about the first one, the mindset, and give you a brief overview of time management and the others, so you know what the 5 steps are that you can start applying to your business if you want to. So the first one is mindset. I absolutely love this quote. The problem is not the problem is your attitude about the problem. Thank you, Captain Jack Sparrow. First of all, decide that you're going to succeed. Decide that you are all in. That doesn't mean that you're working 24 hours a day, but in your little heart of hearts, you have to decide for yourself that you are going to make this business a going concern. You are all in. There will be problems and challenges. Some of them will be huge, but think of them as hurdles, not walls. So we're going to walk through the mindset issues through the 5 steps, and that's how important they are. But I want to pull this out in advance so you're spending more time thinking about your own mindset issues as we go along. So this is the core of business success, mindset, having the right mindset. And this is the core of success in business and in life and everything. When your mindset is in the right place, you give yourself permission and ability to achieve your goals. Again, problems are not barriers to be, problems are barriers to be scaled, not walls stopping you. That's a decision that you make. So I guarantee you, if you are coming from fear right now, your business will never grow. You will be too afraid to allow it to grow. If you're coming from a place of scarcity, you won't be searching for solutions. So deep breath and allow yourself to feel confident and comfortable enough that you can start researching and looking for solutions. If you come from a lack of confidence, you will never allow yourself to succeed. Again, all of these are mindset issues. They're in between your ears, but they have to be addressed and dealt with. And we will change that. When you're acting from a solid mindset, you have confidence, freedom, creativity, and clarity. You need to get out of your own way. And I say this seriously. We are often, the problem is us. You need to get out of your own way. You cannot hop over this step. We are going to work on this together. So let me talk about one of those mindset changes that probably come up for all of us. Imposter syndrome. I don't know if you know the term. Imposter syndrome is when you just feel like an imposter or a fraud, right? Who am I to think I can, run this store? Who am I to think that I can create this course? Who am I to think that I can be the expert in my field? That imposter, that feeling like a fraud, robs you of energy every single day. So that's a major one that comes up for everybody. And I'll tell you, as soon as you start stepping outside of your comfort zone, it will come up. So let me just tell you a quick story about a mindset shift for one of my clients, Kate. Kate had run a very successful copywriting business for decades as a solopreneur and was totally happy until she wasn't. She got tired of it. And she now wanted to move into becoming a writing coach. And she signed up for my coaching program, 6-week coaching program. And the first session, what was coming up for her was imposter syndrome. Who am I to tell people what to do? Who am I to be the sage? Who am I to coach people? I've never been a coach before. And we spent that first session teasing apart where this imposter syndrome was coming from. She had a wealth of expertise, but she had to own it and get comfortable so that she could get comfortable being the expert and work and ease into her new job of being a coach. So once we overcame that fear, in the very first week we started working together, she was able to find several contractors to help her with the administrative aspects of her coaching business, and she could move into new biz dev. So within the first 2 months of her new business, she had multiple high-end clients because she had, if not conquered, she had addressed that imposter syndrome for herself. So that's just one of the mindset issues that come up for a solopreneur. In the course Solo to CEO, we will talk about a lot of them. And you will find that a lot of them will resonate for you. So I want to take the time in the course to address them so you can do some deep, dark thinking about what those are for you. Okay, so step 2 is time management. So again, I'm going to whisk through the next 4 steps so we don't spend all day on this, and we can talk more about it when you have time. So the very definition of that hamster wheel, every solopreneur that I talk to or have worked with tells me that they are time starved. And the very definition of that horrible hamster wheel is that you are reacting to fire alarms constantly. And I will tell you, the solution to that is that you master your own calendar. You master your own time so that you can take charge of your business and not be at the effect of other people's agendas. Manage your calendar, manage your time, and you will start managing your business and becoming the CEO. The bad news is that the longer you stay in this trap of reacting to fire alarms, the less likely it is that you'll ever crawl out of it. And I guarantee you will burn out and lose the passion you had for your business if you don't get out of this hole of being at the effect of other people's agendas. Unless you start controlling your own time, you'll never carve out the time to address your own goals. So the trick to working on time management, which sounds like discipline, and it is, but the trick to making it delicious is to work and to honor the way you function and the way you want your business to be. So it might be that you're not a morning person. It might be that you are a total morning person, as I am. I am at my best at about 7 a.m. and I'm fried at about 3. You want to work with your own personality, the way you want to run your business. It might be that you have small kids and you want to make sure that you are done at 3 o'clock so you can go pick them up at school. You want to craft a calendar and a time management system that works for your life so that you're not, it isn't discipline. It's going to be discipline at first because you're not used to this, but I guarantee you, you will become more productive, less stressed, and more excited about your business the more that you can organize yourself. Again, whether that's working 3 days a week, working 9 to 3, or working a full 40-hour week, if that's what you want to do, crafting your calendar so that it serves you best is the way to get out of that hair on fire feel. So let me tell you another story about another client, Kathleen, also a coaching client. She had been, she was relaunching her consulting business. She was a consultant in the e-commerce industry, had been for 30 years, very successful, and had taken a hiatus, and now wanted to come back to it. But her life had changed, right? She didn't want to be working 60 hours a week as she had been doing. She was afraid of falling back into that trap, and she just didn't know how to get herself going. Also, she said she wanted to get back into business, but she told me that she was spending an awful lot of time being busy and not accomplishing anything. And let me tell you, this is another mindset issue. Busy equals productive. It doesn't. So we spent time, again, she was a coaching client. We blocked out a calendar to include her volunteer time, which was very important to her now at this point in her life. Time with her husband, also very important. We crafted a calendar for her where she could work 3 mornings a week from 9 to noon and accomplish all the things she wanted to get done so that she could create the business that she wanted. Not a 60-hour work week, but it was what she wanted to do. And this freed her up to do new business development so that she had an ongoing client base and she could keep going. So that's this time management function is something that, even though it sounds like discipline, it's important that you grapple with what your calendar needs to look like so it works for you, not the other way around. Third process is thinking like a CEO. You want to start thinking strategically before you start thinking tactically. Don't start doing until you have an overall picture of what a CEO is going to do. You know, the first thing also that many of my clients say to me when I start ooching them into the CEO role from the worker bee role, and the first thing I had trouble with when that business coach was helping me make this transition is I didn't know what I was going to be doing. If I wasn't doing the work, and the work was what was keeping me busy, 50 hours a week, what am I going to be doing? So the CEO is the one who is creating the vision of the business and the direction for the business, and finding and bringing in new clients and projects, starting to build a team and develop them. You're a leader, not a worker bee. And believe me, once we start working on this, you'll find that there is plenty for you to be doing that keeps you from being the worker bee. But unless you start acting on those responsibilities, you're going to continue to be stuck in the worker bee role because that's where you're comfortable, that's what you know. So you want to start moving in that direction. You want to move in that direction to get yourself out of the day-to-day. So ultimately, your job is not going to be working on the worker bee stuff, but doing the work around building your business, not the day-to-day. That poor gal eating that salad on her desk. I have been there for so many years. I can't tell you. If this is you, I hope I can help you get out of that. So let me tell you again, another client that I had, Amanda. This is such a typical story of a solopreneur who really needs just a little bit of help to get out of that hair on fire position. Amanda was buried in work all the time and could not see herself getting out of this hole she had dug for herself despite the years she spent trying. So let me tell you just a little bit about Amanda. She ran a service-based business. She was a website developer and did SEO. I hired her to help her build my first website and to help me with the early stages of SEO for my business at that point. Every time I called Amanda, she was too busy to talk. She was just fried. She was too busy. And she sounded like winded on the phone. She was just fried. And we finished the website, we finished doing the SEO work, and I went back to her and said, I would love to coach you to help get you out of that position because you can't continue like this. And so she hired me for a coaching program, and I helped her craft out a calendar and to start helping her think like a CEO. The first thing I had her do, and believe me, she was kicking and screaming, I had her double her prices. She didn't want to do it. She said, I know I'm going to lose people. I'm going to lose all my clients. I'm going to set myself out. I'm going to be out of business in a month. I'm going to lose all my clients. And I pushed and pushed and pushed, and she finally agreed to increase her pricing substantially. Well, what happened was she did lose some clients, but she lost the clients who were the most troublesome, right? They created her the most problems. They were the most interface. These were the people she wanted to get rid of. The people who said, okay, no problem. I love your work, Amanda. Let's just keep working. These are the people who respected her and would help her grow. So she retained just the clients that she wanted. It then freed up time because she didn't have all of those problematic clients to help her start crafting a different business model. She wanted to start teaching courses, doing masterminds, and moving her business model from a done-for-you services to a one-to-many, which would allow her to work much less time and earn much more money in the process. So she needed to be coached and helped to get her out of that worker bee mentality. So just like Amanda, you will be stuck in the trap of being a worker bee until you can get yourself out of that. So one of the things that keeps people stuck is mindset issues around building a team. A fear of spending money is probably the first one that comes up. I can't afford it. I can't afford to hire anybody. So typically when I say start building a team, what people think of is hiring someone full-time. And that's not at all what I'm alluding to. They think some of the issues that come up are I can't afford it. I can do it myself. I can't trust anyone else to do this. No one will do it as well as I can. So it could be that you carve out 5 hours a week or a month to have a contractor come in and help you start with your business. You might have a bookkeeper do the books while you're doing them now, maybe 5 hours a month. It might be I hired a copywriter early on because I knew I was horrible at copy. It couldn't take that much time. It was worth the $250 a month or less that it cost me to bring her in to free up so much time. So this is how you start building a team to start getting out of the solopreneur fire. You're investing, not spending, small, right? Small first. It's hard to imagine until you experience it, but once you have brought someone in on a contract basis, even for a short period of time, maybe you're testing the waters for a month to see how this feels, you're going to it's hard to imagine the freedom that gives you until you actually experiencing it. So that's the next step, is to start building a team. And by that, I don't mean start hiring willy-nilly full-time. You want to start thinking about how to build people in on a small hourly basis to start helping you become the CEO. So the next one is the fifth step is building systems, tools, and templates into your business. This is not sexy, people, but it is crucial. If you want to be able to bring someone in to do what you're doing, you want to be able to train them. And you want to be able to train them up to your level of expectations and your level of performance. So you need to develop systems that are repeatable, craft checklists and tools and templates to help you help them take over the work that you want to get beyond. This takes time in the beginning, but you'll always be planning with an eye to the future. You want to plan to have someone else do this stuff. So in the course of a week, you might want to start documenting what you're doing anyway, right? Hop on Zoom and create a little video tutorial about how you do client onboarding. Hop on Zoom and do a video tutorial about some, customer service issues. Anything that you're going to be doing anyway. Create training around it. Create checklists, templates, video tutorials to help someone teach someone else how. So as soon as you bring someone in, you've got a training and onboarding system to help them start taking stuff over from you. As I say, it's not sexy. You start to develop systems that can be followed by anyone, not the CEO. So start planning for your future company right now by creating systems for your future contractors or employees. So one thought that really was huge for me. The best athletes and politicians and business people and coaches all have mentors. Why would you do this alone as solopreneur? If you're acting in a vacuum, the only input you have inside is inside your own, between your own ears. It's your own head. And you don't get outside of and start thinking about fresh ideas unless you start bringing in fresh ideas from the outside. The best coaches have new ideas. They create accountability. They keep you out of overwhelmed. They save you time and money. So I struggled for 18 months on my own while business was booming and I was drowning. I decided to stop playing small. So I hired a coach to show me how to get out of my own trap, someone who had been there before, someone who could help me get out of my own way. So these are the 5 steps we just talked about. If you're a do-it-yourself kind of gal, you've got the 5 steps in front of you now, and you can get started right away. I suggest you start with mindset. So you have a choice right now. You can stay stuck or scared or don't take any action on play it safe. If you're a do-it-yourself gal, have at it. You've got the 5 steps. I think you've got enough material now that you can get started on your own. And I laud you, but I personally find that I make far more progress and achieve my goals if I'm working with someone. So I want to encourage you to take action, invest in yourself, and go all in. So these 5 steps work. I guarantee it because I've got a lot of clients behind me who've told me that they work. And if you'd like me to help you implement everything we have gone over today, I would love to do that. So again, I'm going to offer you a free gift after I tell you about the course. I want to invite you to come on to the Solo to CEO course. And I want to go through a little bit about it so you know about what you want, more about what you're getting into. So let's get started and I'll tell you about that free gift at the end. I'm going to walk you through the content, but quickly. So stick with me to the end and you can hear more about it. So the Solo to CEO course is launching April 1st. It's 5 modules plus a bonus. And let me just quickly walk through the 5 modules. No surprise, it follows the same structure that we have in the 5 steps because that's what I built it on. So the first is on mindset, fears, and visions. As I say, I start with that because it is the most important. But we dig deep. We have a worksheet and all kinds of resources that are going to help you identify for yourself where your own mindset issues lie, because that's where you want to start working on. These are the issues that are holding you back. I want you to start by acknowledging, recognizing, and start working with your own mindset issues. And I've laid out here some of them, but there are a ton of them in the first module that you can start working with in your own worksheet. And how we can help you walk through what is keeping you stuck as a solopreneur. Module 2, time management like a boss. We go through much more of the nitty-gritty and the detail about how to manage your time. It's very easy for me to say, you want to start managing your emails, you want to start managing your to-do list, but I want to tell you how. What are the techniques that you can use? How do you do time blocking? It's much more detail that will help you actually do it, not just thinking about it. So much more detail there. Also help you craft that schedule that's going to fit into your life so that you're making sure that your business is something that you can take into the future. Lots of worksheets and exercises and resources there that are going to help you reveal to you how to create time management system that works for you. Module 3 is, again, think like a CEO. So this is where we get into really the nuts and bolts of what does a CEO do? How do you need to transition your thinking to start thinking like a CEO? How do you use your time strategically? What does it mean to work on your business, not in your business? How do you start building a team? When do you start building a team without breaking the bank? What to measure to assure your results and growth? If you're not in a habit of measuring your key performance indicators, how do you know how you're doing? And if you're going to be the CEO of your business, as I want you to become, you need to start measuring success. So we walk you through all the details of that, again, with worksheets and modules and what have you. I see people saying more. Let me hop out to the chat. Okay. Okay, so I see questions. Let me get back to them when I am done with the presentation. Okay? All right, so that was, now I'm lost. See, that's just why I don't stop. Thinking like a CEO. Module 4, building your team without breaking the bank. Oh my gosh, this is a big one. As I said, the first thought that most solopreneurs have about building a team is, you know, oh my God, I can't afford to hire someone full time. You get to define what you mean by a team. It could be that you have 2 part-time people. It could be that you have 2 or 3 contractors working for you 5 hours a month each. It could be that you start to build a team of, you know, almost full-time people or full-time people, but you start slowly. You define what the team is, but so don't be intimidated by that. You get to define how you're going to start building that team. That transition to starting building a team is a major one too. So I don't want you to underplay this. This is big mindset shifts. I'll give you the tools and the resources to take those first steps and solidify that process. So there are 4 stages of team building. I'll go through those with you. Identify how you know when is the right time to start building your team and help you get started. Learn to identify exactly what your team members will be doing to allow you to be the CEO, and this is going to be different for each of you. Where you start and how you start is going to be different, but I'll help you identify where it's best for you to get started. Learn how to build a team without spending a ton of money. Big one, because that's where most solopreneurs get stuck. Okay, the 5th one is creating systems, tools, and templates, that unsexy stuff. But again, this is what it's going to help you create the freedom to become the CEO. So I walk you through, I present to you steps to help you create systems. We walk through how to identify repeated activities. I basically give you the nuts and bolts for where to start creating systems so you can start building on them. FAQs, frequently asked questions, are one of the first things that usually come up and is a good place to start. I'll tell you a secret. You're going to start creating the systems, tools, and templates, but once you have someone who is actually doing the work, they will start to refine them. You did the best you could with them, but they will change over time and become better. But you just want to get started so you can help bring someone in. All right, the bonus, and I absolutely love this. This is my favorite piece of the course. Well, one of them. Everyone suffers from money issues, no matter what stage of business you're in, no matter where you are. Identifying money issues are so important, and they are probably the key to what is keeping you in your solopreneur mindset. We're going to talk about the 7 money blocks that are keeping you from growing and how to eliminate them, right? So I'm giving you the tools to eliminate these mindset issues. How to start charging what you're worth. Every female entrepreneur I work with undercharges. Why do we do that? But we do. So we'll talk about how to start charging what you're worth. We're going to talk about how to get comfortable with sales. That's another one that most people walk away from. I'm good at what I do, but I hate sales. I'm going to tell you how to get comfortable with sales. And then if you still feel that you just need access to more cash, I'm going to tell you where you're going to find it. So there are sources of money. It is out there. I'm going to tell you how to get there. So that's the money bonus. So in each of these modules, you're going to have worksheets and resources and templates that are going to walk you through the process of getting to the CEO mindset. But wait, there is more. You're going to have a private Facebook group, which is a private one. So it's just us chickens. We're talking to each other. And this is where we can explore this transition we're making together. We can talk about insecurities we're having. We can share resources. This is a very powerful place to be sharing information. The most powerful part of the course, and I hope you take advantage of if you join, is that I'll be doing a weekly group coaching call, or office hours call as I call it. I'm not sure if it's going to be Wednesday or Thursday, but I get on the phone for an hour, mics open, to talk about whatever it is that you want to talk about. No matter what module you're in, we will talk about what your issues are, where you're feeling stuck. We'll share, this will be dialogue, so other members of the community are going to be able to help you get beyond. I'm going to be able to coach you directly. So it's like, it's not private time with me, but you're getting coaching time with me, and I'm going to help you make sure that you are making this transition and are not disappointed by the end of 6 weeks. So those weekly office hours are a part of the course as well. So the bonuses are, you have lifetime access to the class, you have lifetime access to the weekly office hours. You have that bonus module on money, which is so powerful. I'm also going to provide you with a video tutorial on how to use Asana. Asana is my management tool for myself. It is a project management platform similar to Basecamp or Trello. I want to show you how to use it and how easy it is and how important it is that you start using one of those tools so that you can start managing your progress, and ultimately the team you're working with is going to be on the same page with you. So there'll be a video tutorial there. There's also a money back guarantee, for heaven's sakes. If you sign up to take the course and you're not happy within the first 14 days, I will give your money back, no questions asked. I would hope that you actually had started doing the work and found it didn't make you happy. But again, within the first 14 days, I have a money back guarantee. So, do you want to do this fast or slow? And again, I have found that if left to my own devices, I have every good intention, but I usually drop the ball and don't get there. So if you want a speedier way to get to become the CEO of your business and getting out of being a hair on fire kind of solopreneur, I really want to encourage you to join the course. So you'll register with either PayPal. When you hit the registration button, you'll be sent to either PayPal or Stripe, depending upon what flavor you're registering with. Pricing, that's the next thing to get to. I would like to encourage you to get started for $180. So $180, you'll be charged once for 3 months, so that's an installment plan. You'll pay $180 a month for the next 3 months to make it more digestible if money is an issue for you. If you want to save some money, there's a one-time payment option of $497. So, whichever way you want to go. But starting from $180 is a no-brainer. You will get so much value out of this, and I don't want money to keep you from getting started. Another caveat is that the price is going to go up. This is the cheapest it's ever going to be. It's going to go up the next time I launch the course. And the bonuses are going to disappear on Monday, April 1st, which is when the course opens. So if you're at all thinking about taking this course, and I hope you are, jump in now, because it's only going to get more expensive later. So this is so hard to craft, but the value of the course, I want to say, $3,000 for the video. You're going to get 6 video modules, tons of worksheets and spreadsheets, downloads and worksheets and resources that are going to help you. My group coaching program, my mastermind program, which is also 6 weeks, is $1,500. So if you just look at that, you would be paying a third of the price. The group training, the group coaching calls, the Facebook group, the Asana training, all of those add up to a huge chunk of change. But again, you can get started for only $180, and I hope that you will get started. I'm going to put that link in the chat, so you can link right to it from chat. So the gift I wanted to promise you, I promised you, and I dangled in front of you in the beginning, is the first 5 people to sign up will get a 30-minute individual coaching call with me. This is good for only 24 hours, so it really is a fast action bonus. I want to help you get started by working one-to-one with you on your business. Let's talk about where you are, where you think your problems are. Let's get those all laid out so you can jump into the course quickly, knowing you're going to get traction right away. So that's my free fast action bonus to you. First 5 people in the next 24 hours will have access to that. So let me open up, let me stop sharing. Stop share. Okay, let me open up to questions, and let me just put that, before I forget about it, let me put the link, oh dear, which of course I can't find now, into the, hold on one second, let me get it into the chat. One moment, please. And we can go over questions, because I saw that there were some, so copy. And I'll put that in the chat to everybody. There we go. Okay, so if you want to hop on over to the landing page, you can. So let me go through and see where there were questions. Lakeisha, you said, I've tried using an FB boosted post to get email subscribers and constantly asking people to join the list, but that's not working. How can I build a list of clients? So you know, this is a steady process, a slow and steady process if you're going to do it organically. I use Facebook ads. Boosted posts don't give you the capability that Facebook ads do. So if you want to spend the time to learn a little bit about how to use your money better by using Facebook ads, you can do that. Also, every bit of your social media posting should have ultimately a call to action. So people are signing up for something. So it isn't just your one lead magnet. It can be multiple lead magnets. It can be a webinar. It can be a challenge that you're doing. So you want to dangle as many hooks across the internet as you can to help people find you and sign up for email lists. So Lakeisha, it's not a silver bullet. You need to spread it thin. And I personally recommend using paid advertising to get people to join your list, because I think it works better, but you know, it does cost money. So there you go. So Inga, you ask, how time intensive is your course? How many hours per week do I need to do it? And how many hours do you think I need to implement it? One of the things I hopped over, I can't believe I hopped over this, but the course is 6 modules, and it's being released all at the same time. But you have unlimited access to the course. So if it takes you 2 days to do the whole course, or 6 weeks, or 6 months to do the whole course, you have access to it. But more specifically, each module has a 30-minute video, Inga. It has, that you'll need to watch. Each one has worksheets and downloads that you're going to want to work through. You know, again, whether you do those in a half an hour or you devote more time to it, that's going to be up to you, and that's hard to quantify. There'll be an hour coaching call a week, which I hope you participate in. So, you know, maybe an hour to 2 hours a week. It's totally when you want to do it. If you want to spend more time, it's up to you. But it's not a huge time suck, Inga. It's going to be based on where you can afford to spend the time and how much you're getting out of it. So, you know, I'm going to say 2+ hours a week at minimum for 6 weeks. Who did you use as a coach? She's no longer coaching. I'm sorry, Carol, but she's no longer coaching. She had run a very successful ad agency. It wasn't in the online space, but an ad agency, which is who I wanted to use to help build my business. This was 20 years ago, so she's no longer coaching. If I had someone to send you to, Carol, I would, but I don't. I do business coaching, but I don't know if I'm specific to what your needs are, so what have you. So, Lakeisha, you say, I'm not sure this is for me yet. I just created the business in January of 2019. Understood. This might not be for everybody, and I know that. I just want to let you know that I just want to save you the time. If you are struggling as a solopreneur now, I want to save you from the pain. Lakeisha, if this is too soon for you, I totally get it. You're on my email list now because you signed up for the webinar. I send out a weekly email with all kinds of advice and tips that will help you grow your business. And so maybe that's where you want to start. I certainly don't want you to sign up for something that isn't what you want. So I'm doing that. I just need more time, Lakeisha, you're saying. Does anybody else have questions? If so, just unmute yourself, and I would be glad to help you with any questions. Anybody? Going once, going twice? Everybody's still muted. I hear somebody. Anybody want to ask a question?
It's me again.
Who's me again?
Lakeisha.
Lakeisha, good. Jump in. What can I ask you? What can I help you with?
Is it possible for me to pay you for your time so maybe we can speak and then I can figure out if this is appropriate for what I'm trying to do?
Mm-hmm. So yes, you can schedule a 30-minute discovery session call with me, which is where we're going to walk through where you are right now.
Okay.
But I'm not going to coach you. I do 1-hour coaching sessions for $250. And that's where we take a look at at least three items you want to work on, and I get you marching orders. So I will be coaching you through those three. So there are two different flavors. One is gathering information. The other is actually coaching you for an hour. So think about what you want. Lakeisha, why don't you email me directly? I can give you links to sign up for either one of those things.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're on. So Carol says, only wanted to know because I used Julia Pimsleur and many of the comments you said she made, so I wondered if it was the same person. No. No, I mean, you know, we all think alike, I'm sure. But anyway, does anybody have any questions about the course? Again, I really would like to invite you to join. It's never going to be cheaper. First 5 people will get that session with me. So I just want to let you know that this is something that's available to you. I've recorded the session. I'm going to send out an email to you so you can re-listen again if you want to. And then I'm available to chat with you want to do that. And I hope to hear back from you. So if there are no other questions.
I do have another question.
Inga, please. Yeah.
So basically, I know in April I will be on vacation for a week. So that would mean I only would miss the coaching session, correct?
Yes, which again is I'm going to record all of the coaching sessions. Even if there's no one on the call, I'm going to answer a few questions, and then I'm going to put the recordings on the in a module designated for coaching calls. So you have access to all of those coaching calls whenever you want them. So don't let that be a problem. Pardon me? You won't miss anything.
Okay.
Yeah, good. Inga, thanks for asking. Anybody else have any questions?
Yes. Hi, Elise. It's Rachel.
Rachel, how are you, my dear? Coffee was lovely the other day.
Yes, it was.
Good.
You know, one thing I'm curious about is getting better definition around what direction my business is going into.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering how this course might help with that.
I think that's exactly the place we would start. So in that, you're going to look at mindset issues. What will come up for you are the areas that are keeping you from finding resolution in some of those directions. So it would be that we use that first coaching call and the Facebook group to help you define where you want your business to go, right? So that's why those are there, is that they offer the most coaching opportunity for you. Just so you know, you guys, I'm totally transparent. I have a 6-week individual coaching program. I charge $1,500 for that. This is a hella cheap way to get coaching from me and not spend $1,500. So and we will have the opportunity to do that in both the group and on the call, all the calls, Rachel. So that's where you would be getting some direction on where you want to go in your business.
Great, thank you.
Good, Rachel. Anybody else have questions on the course or anything I might have gone too fast around?
How are you able to make this course as individual for everyone as possible? Because those are basically all group sessions and everyone goes through it on their own speed.
So Inga, this is a good question. This is where using the Facebook group is important. So this is where you post your issues and concerns, and I'll be in that group daily. So I'll be able to address those concerns directly with you, and we can flesh it out on a call. Also in a group coaching call, the way I structure them is it's like this, I have an open mic session. So I don't have an agenda on those group coaching calls. Each of you has the opportunity to come to me with the questions that you have, and we do some work around solving those questions for you. So there's some mini coaching sessions, and if there are 3 people on the call, you get a lot of my attention. If there's no one on the call, you get all of my attention. So it's that way. And so that's, again, the more you put into it, the more involved in the community you are to your individual story, the more you'll get out of it.
Do you already know the date and time of these sessions? Because I rather be there live instead of watching them later.
Right. So I'm going to say either Wednesday or Thursday at noon, because I found that's the easiest time for people to get away. Most of you guys are West Coast, or many of you are West Coast. So that's you bring your sandwich and your iced tea, and we, chew together and have lunch together, and the group coaching calls are then. That makes sense?
Yes.
Good. Also, I can't tell you how much more beneficial it is to be live on these calls, because then there's dialogue, and you get to ask the questions. One question leads to another. You really get a chance to get your questions answered. Anything else I can answer? How long is each module? Again, the video's 30 minutes on each of them, and the worksheets and resources are as much time as you want to put into them, Cassandra. So again, it's up to you as to how much time you want to spend on them. So something like the mindset one, it really depends on how much you want to dig into it. For me, in the past, I have spent a lot of time in this because there was a lot of internal digging I want to do. Also, something like the time mapping, the time management module, you can spend some good time on that, because you're really going to want to craft this such that it makes sense for you. So again, those 2 modules might take more time. The others you might go through more quickly. So Cassandra, it's up to you as to how much time you want to take. This course is not meant to be a time suck, by the way. So, this is going to be when you have the time to do it. It's not meant to take, you're not signing up for an MBA course here. You're getting some help in shifting into a more robust business, and you can do it when you have a spare time on your own. So hope that helps. Anybody else?
Yes.
Lakeisha, speak.
The link you put in the chat takes us to the webinar.
The webinar.
Yeah.
Well, let me correct that. One moment, please. How stupid is that? Thank you. So it shows you where my hand is big in the last one. All right, so let's see your course. I am so sorry. Copy. Don't I feel stupid? All right, here we go, ladies. All right, I'm going to say everyone. Okay, there's the course. Okay, go read through the landing page. See what all you get. See what all is there. See how much you get for $180. And take your time with it. And that's where your sign-up links will be. So if you're signing up for the full ride for $497, that will take you to PayPal. If you're signing up for the $180 a month, that takes you to Stripe, because Stripe allows me to create installment plans. So that's the difference there. Ladies, any other questions at all? No? Going once. Going twice. Okay, I hope this was helpful to you. Lakeisha says thank you. Good. This was a joy for me. I love doing this. So hopefully the webinar itself was helpful to you. Hope to see you in the course. I think you'll get a lot out of it. So thanks for coming to me today, and have a great rest of your day. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
You're welcome.